Have you ever looked in the mirror, turned your face a little to one side, lifted your hair with your fingers, and felt that quiet thought in your chest? Something is missing. Not because you are less beautiful, not because age took something away, but because your haircut no longer tells the truth about the energy still living inside you. Maybe your hair used to feel fuller. Maybe it moved more. Maybe it framed your face in a way that felt bright and alive. And now it feels flat, tired, or somehow older than you feel inside. And that can be frustrating, because sometimes it is not your skin, it is not your makeup, it is not even your clothes. It is the shape around your face. It is the weight of the cut. It is where the volume sits, or where it has disappeared. And the right haircut can change all of that faster than you think. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes we are walking through 5 beautiful haircuts that can make women over 50 look fresher, softer, brighter, and more lifted without trying too hard. Some are classic, some are a little bold. One of them may be exactly the change you have been waiting for. And the last one is for women who still love their length and do not want to give it up. Let's be honest for a second. Getting older does not mean giving up on style. It does not mean cutting your hair short just because someone once said that is what women should do after a certain age. It does not mean coloring it darker to look younger. And it definitely does not mean staying with the same haircut for 20 years just because it feels safe. Hair changes as we get older. It can become finer. It can lose body. It may react differently to humidity, heat, products, and even stress. Styles that once looked easy can start to feel heavy, flat, or too harsh. But this is the good news. A smart haircut can bring back movement. It can soften your features. It can lift the face. It can make thin hair look fuller and thicker hair feel lighter and more elegant. Most of all, it can help you feel like yourself again. Not a younger copy of who you were. A stronger, fresher version of who you are now. And that matters, because when your hair feels right, everything changes a little. Your posture changes, your smile changes, the way you walk into a room changes. So as we go through these styles, keep an open mind. You may be surprised by what suits you now, and sometimes the haircut you never expected becomes the one that brings your whole look back to life. The first style is the soft layered bob. And there is a reason this haircut never really goes out of style. It is elegant, easy, and incredibly flattering on so many women. But the secret is not just the bob itself. It is the softness. It is the layers. It is the gentle movement that keeps the hair from looking stiff, heavy, or dated. As hair gets finer with age, a solid one-length cut can sometimes drag the whole face down. It can make the hair look flat at the crown and thin at the ends. But a soft layered bob changes that almost instantly. The layers create bounce. They let light move through the hair. They build shape without making the cut look busy. And when those layers are placed around the cheekbones and jawline, something beautiful happens. The face starts to look more lifted. Your bone structure looks clearer. The whole look feels lighter and fresher. This is one of those styles that works quietly. It does not scream for attention, but people notice. They may not even know what changed. They just see that you look awake, polished, and somehow brighter. If you have been feeling like your hair has lost life, this could be the reset button. And keep watching, because the next style is for women who want something even more daring without losing softness. What makes the soft layered bob so powerful is how flexible it is. You can wear it smooth and tucked behind one ear for a clean modern look. Or you can add loose waves for a softer, more playful finish. If your forehead lines bother you a little, side-swept bangs can blend right into the cut and soften that area beautifully. If your hair is very fine, the layers should stay subtle so you keep fullness instead of cutting away too much. If your face is round, longer front pieces can help lengthen it. If your face is more square, feathered edges can soften sharper angles. And if your face is oval, You can wear this cut almost any way and still look balanced. A little root mousse, a round brush, and a quick blow dry are often enough to make this haircut look full and alive. Soft highlights can also make a big difference. Not dramatic stripes, just gentle brightness to add depth and movement. This is why so many women come back to a layered bob again and again. It feels easy, but it looks intentional. It gives shape without hard lines. It feels youthful without looking like you are trying to chase youth. And that is the sweet spot, isn't it? Looking refreshed, not forced. Looking cared for, not overdone. If you want a haircut that feels safe but still exciting, polished but still soft, this one deserves a serious look. Now let's talk about the pixie with side bangs, because this cut has changed the way many women feel about short hair. A lot of people hear the word pixie and immediately think too short, too harsh, too risky. But that is only true when it is cut without softness. A well-shaped pixie with side-swept bangs is a completely different story. It is chic, it is feminine, it is confident, and when done well, it can make the face look lifted in seconds. By removing extra weight and building shape at the crown, this cut gives thin or limp hair a stronger silhouette. The eye moves upward, the cheekbones stand out more, the jawline looks cleaner. And those side bangs are the magic touch because they keep the style soft around the forehead and eyes. Instead of looking severe, it feels airy and elegant. This cut is especially beautiful on women with oval, heart-shaped or slightly longer faces. But it can also be adjusted for fuller faces by keeping more length in the fringe and more height on top. If you are tired of fighting flat roots, tired ends, or hair that never quite does what you want, this style can be a relief. Wash it, dry it, add a little texture. Done. And yes, short hair can absolutely be glamorous. Sometimes it makes your features shine more than long hair ever did. The pixie with side bangs is also one of the best choices for women who want to look modern without needing a long styling routine every morning. That matters more than ever. You want hair that works with your life, not against it. A little texturizing spray at the crown can add lift in seconds. A touch of styling cream through the ends can create shape and separation without stiffness. If you wear glasses, this cut can frame your face beautifully instead of competing with your frames. If you wear your natural gray, this haircut can look stunning because the structure of the cut gives gray hair a polished, expensive feel. And if you are worried that a pixie will make you look too exposed, remember this: softness changes everything. The longer fringe, a gentle sweep across the forehead and slightly feathered texture around the temples can make the whole style feel approachable and flattering. This is not about looking tough unless that is the energy you want. It is about looking clear, fresh and strong. And there is something deeply powerful about choosing a haircut that says, I know who I am. I do not need to hide behind my hair. I can let my face be seen. I can let my confidence lead. If that idea gives you even a little spark, do not ignore it. Sometimes a bold haircut is exactly what wakes up your whole look. If you want something a little looser, a little more playful, and full of natural movement, the shoulder-length shag deserves your attention. This style has come back in the best way. Not as an old trend brought back for fun, but as a softer, more wearable, more flattering version that works beautifully on mature women. The reason is simple. Aging hair often becomes flatter, finer, or more stubborn. It can lose volume at the top while looking too thin at the ends. The shag answers that problem with layers, but not the wrong kind of layers. Good shag layers create texture, air, and shape. They help the hair move. They make it look fuller without trying to force it into a hard style. And because this cut is meant to look a little lived in, a little undone, it never feels too perfect or too stiff. That relaxed feeling is part of what makes it look young. Youthful hair rarely looks frozen. It moves, It has softness. It catches the light. A great shoulder-length shag can also slim the face, lift the cheek area, and draw attention to the eyes, especially if you add wispy bangs or soft curtain bangs. And if your natural texture has changed over the years, maybe with a slight wave or bend you never had before, this cut can work with that instead of fighting it. One of the most attractive things about the shoulder-length shag is that it feels effortless in the best possible way. You do not need perfect curls. You do not need a salon blowout every day. In fact, this haircut often looks better with a little natural texture, a little movement, a little softness. That makes it ideal for women who want style without stress. You can let it air dry, scrunch in a little mousse or texturizing spray and walk out the door looking current and full of life. If you like a more polished finish, a few loose waves with a curling wand can elevate it in minutes. If your hair is fine, make sure the layers stay blended and not too chopped, because too many short layers can make thin hair look stringy. If your hair has some wave or body, this cut can be a dream. It creates shape without heaviness. It frames the face without closing it in. It also works beautifully with natural gray, soft highlights, and even color-treated hair that needs a little more visual texture. And here's the part many women love most. This haircut does not ask you to look perfect. It asks you to look alive, relaxed, fresh, easy. If that sounds like the energy you want, keep this one on your list because it can bring a surprising amount of spark back to tired hair. Now let's move into a haircut that looks clean, polished, and quietly expensive. The chin-length blunt cut with soft layers. This style is for women who love structure, but do not want anything too hard or severe. It is sleek, elegant, and very flattering because it brings definition back to the lower part of the face. As time passes, the jawline often softens. That is normal, but the right cut can create the illusion of a cleaner, firmer outline, and this is exactly where a chin-length shape shines. When the hair falls right at or just below the chin, it frames the jaw and neck in a way that looks lifted and intentional. The blunt edge adds weight where you want it most, which makes fine hair look denser and stronger. At the same time, soft inner layers prevent the cut from looking too blocky or stiff, so you get the strength of a sharp shape with the softness needed to keep it feminine and flattering. This style is especially strong for women whose ends tend to look wispy or fragile. The blunt line removes that tired look and replaces it with a fuller, healthier finish. It is one of those cuts that can instantly make the hair look more expensive because the outline is so clean and the shape feels so controlled. The beauty of this chin-length cut is that it works for real life. It can be worn sleek for a dinner out, softly curved under for everyday elegance, or with a tiny bend for a more relaxed modern look. A shine cream or lightweight serum can help it look smooth without flattening it. A round brush aimed inward at the ends gives that soft face framing curve that feels neat and fresh. If you wear earrings, this cut can show them off beautifully. If you wear glasses, it usually sits around the face in a clean way without crowding your features. This style is especially flattering on square and heart-shaped faces because the soft layers balance stronger lines. It is also perfect for women who love a minimalist look, women who do not want a lot of fuss, and women who want a haircut that always seems put together even on simple days. And here is something people do not say enough. There is real power in a haircut that does not beg for attention but still makes you look unforgettable. This cut does that. It is graceful, it is calm, it has presence, it says you know what works for you. And sometimes that kind of quiet confidence is more youthful than any trend. If you still love long hair, let me say this clearly, you do not have to cut it all off to look fresh after 50. That old idea needs to go. Long hair can still be elegant, flattering, and full of life when it has the right shape. That is why long layers with curtain bangs can be such a beautiful choice. This style keeps the length many women love while removing the heaviness that can drag the face down. Long hair worn all one length can start to feel dense, flat, or too severe over time, especially if the texture changes. But long layers open everything up. They create movement. They let the hair breathe. They soften the outline around the face and help the hair flow instead of hang. Curtain bangs make an even bigger difference. They part gently, frame the eyes, soften the forehead, and draw attention to the cheekbones in a very natural way. Unlike blunt bangs, they are easier to style and easier to grow out. They give you that soft face framing effect without looking rigid. This combination can be incredibly flattering because it keeps femininity and length while adding shape, bounce, and life. And if you are someone who still feels most like yourself with longer hair, that matters. The best haircut is not only the one that looks good, it is the one that still feels like you. Long layers with curtain bangs also give you options. And that flexibility is a big reason so many women love this look. You can wear it smooth and glossy, you can add loose waves, you can pull some of it back and let the front pieces fall softly around your face. You can style the bangs away from the face with a round brush for an open, lifted effect, or let them fall a little closer for softness. If your hair is medium to thick, layers can remove extra weight and keep the shape from looking bulky. If your hair is finer, the trick is to keep the layers longer and more strategic so the hair still feels full. A root lifting spray at the crown can help prevent that flat top effect, and a heat protectant is a must if you style often. This cut works beautifully on women who like a softer, more romantic look. Women who want a visible change without going drastic, and women who want their hair to move with them instead of sitting still like a helmet. And there is a quiet magic in hair that moves. It softens the whole face. It makes your look feel easy. It adds warmth. So if you have been holding on to your length but know it needs new energy, this style may be the perfect middle ground between comfort and change. By now, you may be wondering which of these styles is right for you. And the truth is, the answer is not just about trends. It is about your face shape, your hair texture, your routine, and the feeling you want when you see yourself in the mirror. If you want classic and easy, the soft layered bob is a beautiful place to start. If you want bold, lifted, and chic, the pixie with side bangs could surprise you in the best way. If you want movement, texture, and a more relaxed feel, the shoulder-length shag may bring your hair back to life. If you love structure and polish, the chin-length blunt cut can give you that clean, elegant shape. And if you want to keep your length while refreshing your whole look, long layers with curtain bangs can be incredibly flattering. But there is one more thing that matters just as much as the haircut itself, the way it is tailored to you. A great stylist will adjust the layers, length, bangs, and volume placement to suit your features, your hair density, and your natural texture. That is where the real transformation happens. So do not be afraid to bring photos, ask questions, and say what you want more of. More lift, more softness, more movement, less heaviness, less flatness, less struggle. Your haircut should serve you, not the other way around. And here is something worth remembering if you are thinking about making a change. Hair is emotional. It holds history. It holds versions of us that we may have carried for years. That is why changing it can feel exciting and scary at the same time. Maybe part of you wants something fresh, but another part says, what if it does not feel like me? That is a real feeling. But sometimes what no longer feels like you is the old haircut you have outgrown. Sometimes the hair you have been holding on to is the very thing making you feel older, not because of your age, but because it no longer matches your energy. A new cut can do more than change your reflection. It can shift your mood. It can make mornings easier. It can bring back that small but powerful feeling of looking forward to getting ready again. And if you have been feeling invisible lately, do not underestimate what a good haircut can do. Not because beauty is everything, but because feeling good in your own skin matters. Feeling seen matters. Feeling refreshed matters. And sometimes the smallest changes create the strongest return of confidence. So if one of these styles has been speaking to you, that may not be random. Pay attention to that. It could be your next chapter asking to begin. The truth is, this conversation was never only about hair. It was about energy. It was about identity. It was about the difference between looking tired and looking alive. Every style we talked about has the power to soften, lift, shape, and refresh. But the deeper goal is not to look like a younger woman. It is to look like the best version of yourself right now. A version with confidence in her eyes, lightness in her expression, strength in the way she carries herself. You are not trying to go backward. You are choosing to look current, cared for, and fully present in your own life. That is a very different thing. And it is a beautiful thing. So whether you go for the soft layered bob, the side-swept pixie, the playful shag, the polished chin-length cut, or the long layers with curtain bangs, choose the one that makes you feel open, lifted, and true to yourself. Choose the one that makes you want to touch your hair and smile. Choose the one that gives your face a little more light. And if you are still unsure, take your time, but do not settle. You deserve a look that reflects the life still shining inside you. And if one of these styles stood out to you, hold on to that feeling, because it may be exactly the sign you needed. So next time you stand in front of the mirror, do not ask, am I too old for this style? Ask something better. Ask, does this haircut bring out my features? Does it make my hair look healthier, fuller, softer, more alive? Does it fit the life I am living now? Does it help me feel confident when I walk out the door? Because that is the real goal. Not rules, not fear, not outdated ideas about what women should or should not do after a certain age. Just beauty that feels honest, style that feels natural, hair that moves with you and supports the face you have earned through every laugh, every lesson, every year. If this gave you new ideas, hold on to them. Rewatch the parts that spoke to you. Picture yourself in the cut that made your heart move a little. And when you are ready, go for it. Even a subtle change can open the door to a whole new feeling. You do not need a dramatic makeover to feel renewed. Sometimes a softer fringe, a better shape, or a little more movement is enough to bring your whole look back into focus. And that is the beauty of it. Small change, big effect, fresh energy, same you, just bright.